Hello my dear children, welcome to your science class. Last class we learned about the joints and we learned about the muscular system which help our bodies to move the bones and for the locomotion. We learned about the function of the muscular system and also we learned how the muscles works in our body. Now there is a small activity in your textbook, page number 74, activity 6. That is to understand the working of muscles on our hands. That is the muscles triceps and biceps. Now teacher will demonstrate the activity using a digi video. So let's watch.
To understand the working of the muscles to bring about movement to the bones. Method. Close the fingers of one hand tightly. Bend the arm at the elbow and touch the shoulder with your thumb. With the help of other hand, feel the muscles of the upper arm. The biceps muscles are in front and the triceps muscles are at the back of your arm. Now, straighten the arm and feel the bulge of the biceps and the movement of the triceps. What do you observe? Observation. When you bend your arm, the biceps that are joined to the arm in front contract. When a muscle contracts, it becomes shorter and thicker. You can feel a swollen region inside your upper arm. This is due to contraction of biceps. The triceps that are at the back of the arm relax. When a muscle relaxes, it becomes longer and thinner. When we straighten our arm, our biceps relax and the triceps contract. You can feel that the swollen muscle is no longer present. So, your arm movements are controlled by two muscles, biceps and triceps.
Yes, by this activity we learned that bones cannot move by itself. The muscles are attached to the bone for the movement, for the easy movement of the bones. Muscles contract and the bones are moving due to the contraction and the relaxation of the muscles in our body. So in today's class we are going to learn about locomotion in animals. We are going to learn about locomotion in animals. So about locomotion we have learned in the first class of this chapter. That is, the locomotion is the movement of the whole body of an organism from one place to another place. So that is called locomotion. Now in your textbook, locomotion of animals, a few animals examples are given in very detail. So teacher will tell you which all are the organisms and what are the techniques these animals use for the locomotion. So the first animal we are learning is earthworm. Earthworm. Now I am sure most of you may have seen the earthworm in the soil. Have you? What is the specialty of this earthworm? Yes, the earthworm are cylindrical in shape. They are smooth and moisty, and they are mostly seen in the humid region, isn't it? So as I told, this earthworms are having a long and cylindrical body made up of rings and segments. The body of the earthworms are made up of rings and segments. So inside the body of the earthworm there is liquid skeleton which help the earthworm to maintain its body shape, that is this cylindrical shape. Now at the lower surface of the body of the earthworm there are minute bristles. And the function of these bristles are they provide grip to the organism while moving on the ground, and the muscles attached to the bristles allow the organism to move from one region to other region. So the earthworm, they are having a cylindrical shape and their body is made up of rings and segments which are joined to each other, and on the under surface of the earthworm there are small minute bristles and muscles are attached to this bristle which allows the organism to move from one place to another. Now the muscles below the bristles are two types. They are circular muscles and longitudinal muscles. Muscles are two types, circular and longitudinal. So it has a circular type of muscles and also longitudinal type of muscles. With the help of these muscles, this earthworm is moving.
See an earthworm crawling on the ground during the rainy season. Do you know why? They come out of their underground burrows or holes because they are filled up with rainwater. An earthworm has a long cylindrical body made up of many rings or segments joined end to end. It has a liquid skeleton. On the undersurface of the body, a number of minute bristles are present that help the earthworm to get a firm grip on the ground. Muscles attached to these bristles help to contract the body.
Now, the second organisms we are going to learn today is snail. Snail. Now, I'm sure all of you have seen the snails. Snails are having a large shell on its back in order to get protect from the heat and from its enemies. And snails have a large and flat foot. And this foot produces a slimy substance. This is called mucus. The food produce a slimy substance and it is called mucus. The function of this substance, that is mucus, is to reduce the friction between the organism, the foot of the organism and the ground. So in snail, it has a large and flat foot. Food produces, and this food produces a slimy substance called mucus, which help the organism to reduce the friction and move through the ground. This shell of the snail has nothing to do with the movement of the organism.
Snails have hard shell on their back. It is the exoskeleton that protects the snail from heat and enemies. Whenever it senses danger, it hides its soft body inside the shell. Snails have a large flat foot. The foot produces a slimy substance called mucus, which helps the snail crawl over the surface. The mucus reduces the friction between the foot and the ground surface. The muscles of the foot enable the snail to move forward. A trail of mucus is left behind when the snail crawls. The shell does not help in moving from place to place. It has to be dragged along.
Now the third organisms we are going to learn today is cockroach. I'm sure all of you have seen the organism cockroach. Now this cockroach has 3 pairs of legs that are jointed legs and strong muscles which allows the movement of the legs. And these cockroaches are able to fly from one region to another region. Cockroach also has a pair of antennae that is on its forehead which help them to sense the ground.
A cockroach's skeleton is outside its body, exoskeleton. They have 3 pairs of joined legs and strong muscles to pull these legs. This enables them to walk or run. Their feet have tiny claws that help them climb walls. Though cockroaches have 2 pairs of wings, they can fly only short distances. Cockroaches walk in a very interesting manner, moving 3 legs at a time. When a cockroach walks, its 3 legs, 2 on one side and 1 on the other, support the body, while the other 3 move the body forward. The movement is repeated. However, this time, the 3 legs that previously supported the body now move the body forward, whereas the 3 legs that previously moved the body now support the body. In this manner, the cockroach is able to walk.
Now let's learn about the 4th organism, that is snake. I'm sure all of you are afraid of snake. Are you? The specialty of the snakes is they don't have any food. Still they have the ability to move so fast, isn't it? So some of you may have seen the snakes that they are moving so fastly by forming loops on their body. This is possible because They have strong muscles in their body, and also they have flexible bones in them. They have muscles in their body to push them forward, and also their joints are made up of ball and socket. When we learned about the ball and socket joints, we learned that ball and socket joints are very flexible. So in the vertebral column of the snakes, this ball and socket joints are present, which make them so flexible and help them to move so fastly.
Snakes. One surprising characteristic feature of a snake is its ability to move rapidly without legs. The snake's body is covered by a special structure called scales. They move by crawling on their bellies. A snake has a long vertebral column which is made up of 100 to 400 vertebrae connected by ball and socket joints. Each vertebra is connected to a pair of ribs, which are also connected to belly scales at the bottom. Strong muscles attached to the ribs, vertebrae, and belly scales are responsible for the movement of a snake's body. A snake moves by turning its body into several loops on alternate sides. Each loop of the snake gives it a forward push by pressing against the ground. Since its long body makes many loops and each loop gives it this forward push, the snake moves forward very fast. Snakes do not move in a straight line. They move in a wave line.
So the fifth type of organisms are fishes. We know that fishes also are able to move so fast. This is because they have the fins in their body, and also they could move so rapidly due to the presence of strong muscles attached to the flexible backbone. If you observe the movement of the fish, you can see that they are also moving by forming curves. These curving loops are formed by the action of the muscles, and this is how the fishes move so fastly.
Fish. Observe a fish while it moves in an aquarium. You will find that the head and tail of the fish are smaller than the middle portion of the body. The body tapers at both the ends. The shape of a boat is somewhat like a fish. This body shape is called streamlined. Most fishes have a streamlined shaped body. This kind of shape helps the fish to overcome the resistance offered by water as it cuts through it, making it easier for the fish to swim through water. The fish moves in a wave-like manner. This movement is made possible by strong muscles attached to the flexible backbone. During swimming, muscles make the front part of the body curve to one side and the tail part moves towards the opposite side. The fish forms a curve or a loop. Then quickly, the body and the tail curve to the other side. This produces a jerk and pushes the body forward. A series of such jerks make the fish swim ahead. This is helped by the fins present in the body. Fish have fins on their body which help to keep the balance of the body and to keep direction while swimming. They also act as brakes when the fish needs to stop on the way. The tail fin acts like a rudder to change the fish's direction while swimming. Most of the fishes have a swim bladder or air sac inside the body. It helps them to rise or sink in water. When the fish has to rise, the swim bladder gets filled with more air. The body of the fish becomes light and the fish rises up. When the fish needs to go down, it releases some of the air in the swim bladder. The body of the fish becomes heavier and the fish sinks.
Let's learn about sixth type of organism, that are birds. Now we know that birds are many times, there are birds which only moves through the ground like duck, and there are also birds which can fly. These birds are able to fly because they have got special modification. The first modification is forelimb of birds are developed into wing which help them to fly, and the hind limb of the birds are used to move around the ground for walking and preaching. The body of the birds are designed so that they can easily thrive through the air. And the bones of the birds are so lightweight so they can float or fly on air. Now, the birds have strong chest muscles which help them to flap the wings during their flight. So, these are the modifications seen in the birds.
Most birds can fly. The following features help them to fly. They have streamlined bodies that cut through air easily. This makes it easier for them to move through air. Their bones are hollow, which makes it easier for them to fly. The bones of their forelimbs are modified as wings for flying, while that of their hind limbs are used for walking and perching. They have powerful chest muscles, which help them in flapping their wings during flight. A bird flies with the help of its wings. During its flight, the wings perform two types of movements. When the wings move down and forward, they push the air down, lifting the body of the bird in the air.
So dear children, I hope all of you understood today's class. So from next class onwards, we will start discuss the textual activities of this chapter. See you in next class. Thank you.